Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's Running You podcast. Just coming off of 5 weeks, kind of talking about the What's Running You Hero's journey, and that was a lot of fun. And how I do it in my own life, to help achieve my goals. And the whole book, What's Running You, is about living a better story and living from the better parts of ourselves. So we're going to dig in a little bit to like the original idea behind it, and then talk about kind of the bigger theme of it. Because it's really not just about achieving your goals. I mean, it's really about, like I said, like just being, as John Orber said, being the you want to be. There's a you that's kind of calling out to you. It's kind of trying to be that person, or really remove the things that are stopping you from being that person. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about a little bit today, or just we're talking about the initial idea of it, really. So the way this idea of the book What's Running You came about is I was in the shower. I know, it is what it is. There we go. I was in the shower. And I was so ridiculous. I was imagining myself giving a commencement speech to a bunch of graduates. At the college I attended, I was at the lawn, kind of speaking to them, and it was just kind of coming out. So like the first piece of advice I gave them was that everybody should have a board of directors, people who are for you and there to support you and help you and push you along the route. And the interesting thing about that, super side note, is one of the reasons I was thinking about that is because I had, a little bit before that, a year or so, I was working at Morgan Stanley, and as I was interviewing, they would have me meet with certain financial advisors and talk to them and that kind of thing. And one of them mentioned that he sees himself as the CFO on his client's board of directors. And I was like, that's a great idea. And it's funny because I don't know who he is. I don't know his name. Kind of remember what he looks like vaguely, but the office closed down and they moved along. But that was a powerful talk, that 10 minutes. So side note. So that was the first piece of advice I gave is about having a board of directors. And then the second thing that popped in my mind as I was giving this thing was something I'd heard Wayne Dyer give on a talk that was from Mother Teresa. And it's funny, actually, as I went and researched it, I found out it was on the wall of the children's home, and it was an original version, I think, was Ken M. Keith. But it was on the wall of Mother Teresa's, the children's home operated by our charity. So it's called Do It Anyway. So I'm going to read it real quick. It's short. People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will be often forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. And the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. So that was the other piece of advice I gave them. Then the thought hit me, because being between you and God, God is like your chairman of the board. And that was kind of the thought behind the book, is you have a board, God your chairman. But the thought that hit me right with that, because I remember I gave the book to somebody and they were like, to paraphrase them, it's like, you made me nervous, you were talking about God right off the bat. So I get that. I live in LA, people are freaked out about that. I'm not freaked out about that at all. I love talking about that stuff. I can talk, it fascinates me. I dive into it, the book. So I'm going to try to be more comfortable talking about that on the podcast. But I just know people are weird about it, because like first page, she's awesome, but she was just like, it freaked me out. But the side note of that is the thought that hit me right after the God is your chairman was that actually your chairman is the idea or person that's kind of has the biggest impact on you, kind of the main voice in your head. So that's actually your God. So it's not that God is your God. I mean, if we're being, in the book, I view God as love, so I do think that is the chairman that we're ultimately going for, is to have love lead our lives, because there's kind of like, there's your chairman, the thing behind the thing, and the thing behind the thing that the feelings and emotions and actually what's driving who your chairman is, kind of the deeper side of that. But for just today's podcast, I think it's like just important to think about what is the thing that is actually driving my life. Like what is, like the book says, what is running you? So it is just about the idea that is running your life and getting better ideas running yourself. So I just throw this out there, like, who is your chairman? What idea is running your life? What thought, what person? Right now it seems like politics has run a lot of people's lives. It could be your boss may be running your life, or the book I say, that kid who was mean to you in 3rd grade, that may still be running your life. So kind of think about that. It could be your career. It could be like, what's the main idea? What's the main thing, that's driving you? I think it's a real important question. Like, what is running my life? What is really, for me, when I get off, it's like my fearful side runs me. That's when I'm not my best. So that's what I'm trying to do is make love run my life. That's what I think God is. So I'm trying to live from that place of love. So what idea is running your life? What is that main thing, person, idea, story, belief that is really running your life? That's what we want to look at. Because it's an interesting question. A lot of it we're not conscious of, so it's just going all the time, but it's affecting us in a lot of ways. You could have something that you really don't want running your life, but that's the major idea, that's the major voice in your head that's kind of telling you, go after this, go after that, do that. So it's important to look at those things. So that's it. So rate and review. Love you to follow us and support us, and thanks so much. Appreciate you.